morning. Top of the morning. Hvac services. We in New York City. Anybody familiar with New York City, you'll recognize those smokestacks over there. That's Long Island City, which is in New York City. Long Island City. Amtrak train right there. So I got a service call this morning. Actually, the service call was from Friday afternoon. I'm at it's an industrial building, as you could tell. It's like a warehouse type roof. This is one of my customers that the company I'm affiliated with. He's a customer for them. Shout out to Run Right Mechanical, Brooklyn, New York. Go check them out. They real professionals. That's who I work with. But this video is for me. Hvac services. So let's get into it. So I get the call saying that 4 offices lost cooling Friday evening. Everything was working just fine, but Friday evening when they was leaving, start blowing out hot air. They got these Medea units. I'm not a big fan of these guys. Not a big fan of these at all. Medea, see? Not a big fan of these. I don't like them. I don't like the customer service at the tech support. I just don't like these units. But the AC is an AC, and I work on them all the same. So when I got to, the first thing I did was I identified which is a mini split, obviously. These are mini splits for you new guys that's just getting into this. So the first thing I did was I went to all 4 air handlers, turned everything on in cooling. Because one thing you got to keep in mind, guys, with a lot of these systems, if you got 4 heads hooked up to it, and if one of those heads is in heating, especially if it's the main head, the master head, because some systems don't even have a master, they just got 4 units hooked up to it. But some systems do have a master, and whatever that master unit thermostat is set to, that's what the whole system is going to work off of. So if you got 4 air handlers on it, and if 3 is set to cooling but 1 is set to heating, your whole system might not come on. Your whole system won't come on, because I've had service calls where I'll go to the call and they got 4 air handlers and 1 of them is in heating, and that's keeping the whole thing off. So you guys keep that in mind before you start losing your mind on these service calls. So what I found, I checked all 4 air handlers. I made sure all of them were set to cooling. Dropped the temperature down to 65 degrees in the offices downstairs. Then when I came upstairs, the first thing I did was put gauges on the unit, because you want to verify that it's Freon in your system. You want to verify that. I had a standing pressure of about 150, close to 200 standing pressure. I waited a little while. My condenser kicked on. In this field, you're always going to use your 5 senses: smell, touch, sight, and all that. So when I saw my fan come on, I saw my condenser fan come on, out of habit, you just want to fill your pipes. First thing I noticed was my suction line was hot. It was hot. This is after my condenser came on, after my compressor kicked on. My suction line was hot. It was hot, Freon going through it, as if the reversing valve was in heating mode. This is my reversing valve right here. So I had hot gas going through my suction line, even though my system was in cool mode, which let me know my reversing valve either did not power up or it did power up, depending on the setup. Because some setups, the reversing valve is going to activate when it calls for heat, and other setups, the reversing valve is going to activate when it calls for cooling. And the way this Medea works in this case, the reversing valve is not supposed to get powered up in cool mode. It only gets powered up in heat mode, which means this reversing valve only gets 208 volts. There's a 208 reversing valve, not a 24-volt reversing valve. It's only going to get 208 sent to it to make it move to the other side when there's a call for heat in the winter. That is not the case right now. We had a call for cooling, the reversing valve got powered up, and I had hot gas flowing through my suction lines, which in turn was blowing hot air down into those offices. Now we in the summertime, it's 85, 90 degrees out here. That's a sure service call. So once now I didn't even call tech support. What I didn't call tech support yet. What I did was I followed these wires. That's my reversing valve. I followed that white wire. I followed it up here. It came out to be these two blue wires. It came out to be this blue wire and this blue wire that I got pulled off right now. So right now in cooling mode, there's 208 going through these two wires, and there's not supposed to be. So as soon as I pulled that wire off, you heard this reversing valve power down. It made the big whoosh noise. Whoosh! Reversing valve noise. Now, to verify it, I got Medea tech support up on the phone, and he had me put the wire back. I connected the wire back to that CN6. I don't know if you can see that, but CN6. Put the wire back, got my meter, and like I said, he said, just verify everything is in cool mode. Test voltage between those two wires. If I am getting 208, 230, I have a bad main board. Maybe a relay in the board got stuck closed or something like that. There's little relays in this board, those little blue boxes and things like that. Black boxes there.